Another approach of having a system in the organization is the application software packages. So this really save time and money, because if you need a system, sometimes it's already available in the market, so you can already buy it and allow someone to modify some part of it to be integrated, to fit or customize in your organization. So for instance, the inventory system, there's already an existing inventory, common inventory for all systems in the organization, and we're doing it almost the same. So if you can buy a new system rather than develop one, so it's sometimes save money and time, because it's not that expensive to hire people, and since it's already built, so although the problem here is that sometimes it doesn't fit really with the organization need, but you can train your user, and at the same time you can already implement it as soon as possible. We do evaluation criteria for systems analysis, so we can still follow the systems development life cycle. So we have functions provided by the package, flexibility, user friendliness, hardware, software resources, database requirements, installation and maintenance efforts, documentation, vendor quality, and cost. So here the practice is request for proposal, detailed list of questions submitted to package software vendor. So that means you are already defining the functionalities that you need. Example, if you're planning to buy an inventory system or develop an inventory system in your organization, you can already specify the functionalities that you want. And if there is already an application software package, meaning humandaan nga system, you can already evaluate it and can be bought maybe instead of development, because it's very costly to finance software development and there is no assurance of it to be successful in the organization. So sometimes an alternative to that systems development acquisition is application software packages. Another is outsourcing. If you don't have a lot of people who can involve in the software development, you can outsource the system. Several types can be application service provider and domestic or foreign external vendor. So here, sa application system service provider, subscribing companies use software and computer hardware provided by application service provider as technical platform for systems, or domestic or foreign external vendors hired to design, create software. So meaning you outsource it, the creation or the development would be developed by outside organization. On the other hand, you can also have application service provider wherein the application is actually run outside the organization, but there is already a technical team that supports you. So example, if you have a payroll system and you want an application service provider for your payroll system, some organization is working on the software for your organization. And the another is you can also hire the organization and the people that will develop it for you. So that's outsourcing type of building a system. One is that, I repeat, ASP, that means you will provide an application service provider. This might be a third party, or you subscribe to a certain software or hire a set of people that will develop it for you rather than developing it on your own. So outsourcing allows organization flexibility in IT needs, meaning if you are not really an IT company, so you don't risk hiring people just to develop the system, because these are only temporary systems and you might not need all of them during the maintenance stage. Allows vendors economies of scale, enhance core competencies, meaning you focus on your core competencies and you'll not be an all-knowing system, because organization who are developers actually are good at developing systems. But if you are, for example, an educational institution but you are not an expert in software development, then why create a team for software development if you only develop a system for the organization that you're handling and you're not planning to sell another software to another organization? So maybe that's the outsourcing. Maybe because technical software development requires technical people and it might not be available in your organization, you might outsource it. And hidden costs, loss of control, that's the disadvantage. Sometimes if you add another functionality, you will be held up by your team or by the application service provider, and they will charge you of additional cost, and this might not be part of the planning of the organization. But if you need it, you will force to to be dependent on that particular service providers that you have acquired at the start. Sige, so most probably if you're a government institution, it's a practice to subscribe to a certain software if you don't want to develop it. So this one is part of the book already, and there is already a rapid application development. So ang rapid application development utilizes techniques such as visual programming and other tools for building graphical user interface, iterative prototyping of key systems element, automation of program code generation, and close team among end users and information system specialists. So from the word itself, rapid application development, the target here is to create a system as soon as possible, based on the user needs. Process of creating workable system is a very short time period of time. So that means it's the used case or computer-aided software engineering tools to create visual programming. So that means it might be a drag and drop system, so that's why it's rapid application development. And prototyping can be a type of rapid application development because you need to create a system for just to rapidly, meaning in a short period of time. So you have to use case tools, and the approach is thus to satisfy the user needs as soon as possible. We have also a joint application design used to accelerate generation of information requirements and to develop initial systems design. This brings end user information system specialists together in interactive session to discuss systems design. So joint application design, sometimes if this is on a third party, if you allow other organizations to create a system, you will apply the joint application design, wherein a part of your team and a part of software development team will work together hand in hand to develop the system. So sometimes, for example, we have a rapid application development. It can be a part of the implementation would be a joint application design. So we are now looking at the different arrangements in developing the system. So the idea of joint application design is to involve users during the system's design so that it can be addressed immediately rather than individually interviewing the users. In the case of traditional systems, the joint application design would be to allow users to interact in the design part, so that there is a exchange of requirements between the programmer and the user. So in this way, generation of design or prototype would be easy. We have also component-based development. Component-based development is group of objects that provide software for common functions. So this is applicable for object-oriented application development. So example of these are web services, reusable software components that use open internet standards. So you can only access, these are sometimes finished systems, and you can access this on the web. So meaning you don't need to reinvent some of the functions because it's already available in the internet, especially on the web services. For example, the design and look of your system, there are already packages that's available open source in the internet, so you don't need to reinvent the wheel from the scratch because there's already an existing system web packages in the open source environment in the internet that you can use and apply it to your existing need. So I think that's the end of this building system. So I will summarize. You've learned that there is a core processes as we discussed in the first part, and after that we've discussed case tools and some other alternative approaches on software development. But basically we are following the core activities I've discussed earlier, and the later application development for the digital firm are actually practices within the organization, but we are just anchoring that on the traditional processes. But the purpose of those alternative development or alternative systems development is to make the process faster, and the interaction of the user and the programmer would be easier and seamless. That's all.